Today must be July 17th, 2022. I came out to my vehicle so I could record really quick so I didn't wake up the rest of my family. It's approximately 8 a.m. And I had received a phone call a couple hours ago, and I haven't been able to sleep. I didn't listen to it right away, obviously, but I saw that there was a message on my YouTube, so I went with it. I haven't been sleeping very well. It's the harassment and the insults and, defamation of my character. I'm exhausted due to my hormones and the pregnancy and how tiring it is to create life. I didn't expect to be creating life anytime soon, so that's why I was really concerned when I found out I was pregnant, and realizing that, even wishing well to the father of the baby after he was already in love with someone else, whatever love, that could be. When you're going around and sticking your penis in other women, I don't think that's actual love. I think that's whatever falsified, emotions you have toward whatever females in general. It's not right. It's not okay to go off and fornicate with a bunch of women and make one woman believe that, you're being faithful to her, and make with that one woman believe that she's actually loved. So I told him when we first departed that I hope he finds love, because he obviously didn't love enough himself or anyone else to have done what he had done to me. And I don't cry about it anymore. At first I'm sure he probably thought I was just crazy, just, trying to do some kind of shady backward psychology or whatever, reverse psychology. But no, I wished him well because I knew he was sick. I knew there was something wrong. And I knew he was worse off than I was. And being as patient as I am, I realized that he didn't deserve my type of companionship from the very beginning. And although I would love to keep this child for myself, that would be selfish. It was selfish enough what his father had done. It was selfish enough that he didn't want to raise a family with him. He didn't want me. He wanted someone else. And that's okay. During this time, I came to the realization that I wasn't his type. And that's always hard for a woman to understand and grasp. And the reason that I was put under fire like this was because of the story in itself, because of what has happened, because I placed a spotlight on the U.S. government and its officials and its, militia. I get that, but I'm not lying about any of it. I'm not being, manipulative or shady in that way. I'm not trying to seek any gains from this. I'm really not. As long as I have my freedom, you can have this child. And I will never admit, though, that he didn't rape me, because that's what happened. Because that's why he was able to get away with what he had done. And going off and being with other people and everything. I would never denounce the truth. I would always stand by that. I don't care if I end up in prison. I don't care if this child gets taken from me. I came to terms with that when I filed the rape. So I knew that I would be scrutinized. I knew that I would be pulled apart in that way, and that they would try to seek any way of saying that my allegations were untrue. But I did it anyway because God told me to. God told me to clarify the truth to the world, to clarify what is really going on in the shadows. And I still sent love to the father because I knew that he was ill mentally. I still sent love to the officers, the militia that hadn't tampered with me, although I still have love for everyone and everything because I appreciate the lessons I've learned. So, as difficult as it is to share that with people, they think I'm just trying to emotionally manipulate them in some way. No, I just clarify the truth and I move on. And if it hurts you, then that's on your own conscience. It has nothing to do with me. It's the fact that you're in denial of these truths, and you're in denial of having, violated someone else's reality. You're in denial that you're a perpetrator. You're in denial that you're a predator. And that's how my father was. That's how my brother was. Then they came to terms with it, and they became more giving toward me and understanding that I didn't deserve the pain that they had inflicted upon me. And I don't know why I guess it was so much pain, so many encounters with men that they had abused and used me and manipulated my heart and manipulated my body and my mind, that I had to realize men were just like that. Every man was just like that. I feel sorry for the father because my pity is probably like the worst feeling you could ever feel, coming from someone that has already given up plenty in her life and has nothing to show for it. I didn't want somebody to just have a child with. I wanted somebody that loved me first and understood and wanted to get to know me. But then I realized after online dating for so long that all I had were men that were predators that wanted to use me or abuse me because of the aesthetics, because of those moments when I would doll myself up. So I utilized that to my advantage. I decided I would go on all these dates. I would, get what I needed from these men, and they weren't going to get what they needed from me, which was, of course, release in some way or another. I didn't need to be violated. So yeah, that one day I was taken to dinner on November 12th. The evening of maybe the 11th through the 12th. I offered myself to him because I was lonely. I was depressed, and that's what I fall back to as a comfort and there was nothing really special about him. It was just the fact that he had taken me to a place that was nice. It was Osaka's here in Hot Springs. And then afterward we went to his hotel and we just hung out for a while, and I felt so depressed that there was nothing that was going to come from the interaction with him and I, that I offered him my body so that I could try to make up for the disappointment that these men are all sick, And I knew that I wasn't going to get pregnant, so I didn't get pregnant. I still had my menses afterward, and then all of a sudden, it stopped. So I knew exactly who the father was. I knew exactly what had happened. And That's why, even as I told him, like, I filed for the rape and everything, I was still very cordial. I was still very polite toward him in some ways, because I know he's a human being. I know he knows he made a mistake. And um, I knew that he wasn't wanting to fully get involved with me because of the fact that he had that comment toward me about nobody wants a relationship with me. And I got that. I understood that. That's why I swallowed my tears and I went out to the car. But even before I left that location, I cried in my vehicle. I remember at some point, either it was in between my showers or right before I'd left, I remember sitting in my vehicle and trying to hide from the neighbors that were they were loading like a trailer and things, and I was just trying my best not to look like a whore, not to feel like one, and, but I am one. I mean, that's what happens with people like me. I thought that men understood that they were whores, so that they shouldn't be able to judge us, you know? But that's not how this day and age works. If this is what's going on with me, imagine what's going on with other women where they never get justice for what's happened and they try to share their story. And I decided to go beyond that, and I was like, I'm going to reach out to as many people as I possibly can because I'm scared and I'm alone and I need to share my thoughts and feelings and emotions because, you know, there is no one but God. There is nothing but God. There is nothing but the balance in the universe like that. So I understood that I would encounter somebody that was going to get to this extreme with me. I got that. I understood that. That's why I clarified it when I first became homeless. Is that what you want, for me to get raped and impregnated? I knew that there was always that possibility, but I kept myself very safe. And I kept myself, you know, armed in that way with some type of contraceptive. And I didn't have the opportunity to request that with him. Instead, he wanted to bring back condoms as opposed to a plan B, presuming that I was lying or something, and at any point of my story might have been a lie, that I was just making up the fact, and that I was ovulating. Men are stupid. I don't know. There is no other word for it. They are ignorant. They are less than mentally. They do not have the mental capability or the cognitive functioning that a woman has, especially because they're ill-advised by their own chemical issues, the physiological effects of them getting aroused. It's like a blinders, like a horse, that's all they see. And it's unfortunate for them. I feel sorry for them. I didn't realize that it was that extreme, but now I realize why I couldn't bring my father or brother to justice, because this is something that goes on with every man. This is something that goes on with every individual with testosterone and those types of hormones. So, regardless of what people say, I'm clearly in the right. And I clearly feel sorry for these men. I clearly feel sorry that I am a woman at this time, because I'm questioning why. Why did I have to go through this? Why did I have to sustain these traumas? And it was to prove a few points. It's okay to forgive those that are insane. It's okay to forgive those that deem you as the crazy one, although they're the ones just hiding their own flaws and their own mental instabilities. So I know that also, too, I am formidable to you people. It must be really intimidating to be talked down to by a woman as ugly as me. To be talked down to by a woman of such lowly value, It must be really hard for you to comprehend that spiritually I'm more advanced. And as well, people say I'm not intellectually as advanced as others, but no, I know what's going on in the world around me much better than most. Much better than that, like my psychologist had said, that 60% that are closed-minded. At least I'm in that 30% that sees outside of the box and can comprehend where others are coming from and comprehend what both sides of that spectrum are, both sides of any reality. I don't try to see things as a biased perspective because of my wants, because of my desires, because of my opinions, because of my moral codes or ethical statutes. I see things as they are. I can't change anybody's reality. I never have been able to. And the alteration of my own reality is what causes others to change. I have to be a good, I wouldn't say role model, but a good, portrayal of someone that is not hypocritical. And I decided to do that years ago. I decided that my daughter would see me. She would see me at some point, and I didn't have to go through the systems. I didn't have to abide by your legal rules of offering you money. What is money? No, thank you. I didn't have money to fight with from the very beginning. You destroyed my life with all of these allegations that I was a criminal, all these allegations that I was violent, all these allegations that I was mentally unfit to be a mother. I'm most definitely fit to be a mother. I'm just not fit at times to manage myself because of heightened stress. Now, if I'm not under so much stress, you see that I maintain fairly well, that I take care of myself, that I have proper hygiene, that I manage my money decently, and that I can manage to socialize well as well, which is always a fear for me because I've always had these issues. Although I was voted Miss Outgoing, I did that to force myself out of my shell, and those were my only moments to express some of my emotions, express some of my trauma by all the filthy drawings I would draw. And that's how I ended up becoming voted Miss Outgoing, and they circulated. And it was because of the trauma. It was because of the sexual abuse I had sustained. And nobody understood that. Nobody saw that. Everyone just saw me as a strange girl that was quiet, that was smart, and needed to apply herself better. How am I to apply myself when I'm still sitting in my emotions and not able to financially support those dreams? And so I sit and I wait in my own knowledge, in my own inquiries toward life, in my own introspection toward God and the world around me. And that's good enough for me. Why seek something I can't afford? Why seek something that is not plainly given or offered out of genuine kindness, genuine, compassion? I don't feel like fighting anyone anymore. I'm not going to struggle in order to succeed in your eyes. That's not succession, that's regression. That's what that really is. Because then I would be compliant to your will, and that's not God's will. God didn't say that we had to charge for everything, our plots of land, our children, even birthing them. What is going on? I didn't realize you were that corrupt. I didn't realize our systems were full of so many greedy, money-mongering buffoons. And that's the sad part. You don't want to be talked down to by someone that has less than. That makes me less than, right? Is that accurate in your eyes? That because I don't have the lavish clothing, because I didn't maintain my body due to the overwhelming amounts of stress and trauma, that I shouldn't be allotted the same privileges for survival. Neither should my children, because you are the ones that rule this plane with your concepts, with your fabrications of money and owning and privileges and bloodlines. when we're all contaminated in some form or another, toxified by this world around us because of what you have done, what our forefathers have done. So I've just been trying to seek my own penance, my own retribution in that way toward life, and finding happiness even in the darkest of moments, finding happiness and joy where it doesn't reside, where generally you will not spot it. And there is so much beauty in the darkness, and knowing the balance in life, knowing the balance. And that's probably why in the second grade I had won that contest for that photo contest. And I know you know what I'm talking about, where I had placed in a photo of a dilapidated house and another photo of a beautiful butterfly. And there was the contrast in life. That's where it all began, right? Even before I knew it, that I was speaking of these things without even speaking of these things. So I don't understand why you won't accept that I want nothing to do with that man. I want nothing to do with him personally. He can live his life. He can be happy. I want nothing to do with his fake, manipulative, narcissistic, egotistical, perverse abuse. Because that's all he would be able to convey throughout a relationship with me. Because that's how it started. So, and I know people can change. I know I give everyone the benefit of the doubt in order to give them the opportunity to understand where I'm coming from, understand the pain and suffering that they have caused another individual, and that they will be marked with for the rest of the remainder of their life here on this plane. I will be at peace regardless. I will offer this child to the world around me so that they can claim it. Because the fact that the father did not claim it within a week's time after I disclosed that he existed, that shows a lot about his character, the father's character, and lack thereof. Lack of appropriate character, lack of proper integrity and honesty. And I know I should respect him for having served. That I don't denounce. I respect him for having served for this country and for my freedoms. There is nothing I can reflect but true, genuine, appreciation and admiration for him having gone through those things. But that does not mean that you own me or any civilian because of the fact that you served for us. That is not an exchange. If I knew that it were something, yeah, you saved my life specifically, it was me, then maybe I would offer you my entire being as sort of an exchange. My soul, you saved it, so here it is. And that's kind of how it was, how my parents made me perceive it. They saved my life, so I should be appreciative. I should be, thankful that and just grateful in that way, because they saved me. They fed me, they clothed me, they gave me shelter. And that's how I learned to have so much, so much affection toward the people that have hurt me, including the US government, because that's how it is. I am grateful for the little things, the things that I've had throughout my life that were free, truly free to me, essentially. But there's always an exchange, like I tell people. There's always an exchange with the devil, because regardless, somebody's going to see something and perceive it inaccurately, incorrectly. And it's unfortunate for them, because all they do is cause problems for others. I know that I went around causing problems for others purposefully, calling corporations, calling companies, calling and, speaking to managers, because I wanted you to understand I'm not the issue here. It's the fact that people aren't doing their jobs properly. I'm not the issue. Just because I'm not feeding your system, your flawed system, and forcing myself into a job that would cause more stress on me, and I would likely be dead. I would likely do something that was of criminal nature. And because I wouldn't be able to handle this psychologically, I've already lost enough. Losing a daughter after having fed her out of my breast, that's, that is shameful on your part, shameful on your behalf, because you should have known better that a mother that breastfeeds offers all the love and compassion, and hardly ever do they snap. It's those mothers that bottle feed, that don't have that attachment, that don't realize it's attached to you. You can't do anything. You can barely walk around or try to eat or anything. It's that consumption of your time and efforts, consumption of your being, your essence, what you're producing out of your body, which is miraculous. And I saw that when I dealt with my child. That's why every moment I gazed at her with such, for lack of a better word, admiration. I stared at her, and I just cared so much. I just loved her so much more than any other being, any other creature on earth, because she came out of my vessel. I helped produce her, and the a few things I didn't do, like baptizing her and offering her soul to God, it haunts me to this very day, because even the act of doing so would have helped offer her some salvation during all of this, in our separation, our estrangement. So I wanted to clarify too that I don't feel that same feeling toward this child, and it's okay. It's completely okay. He will be fine, but not really. I know that psychologically he's going to be damaged, knowing that his mother did not care for him, yet he had a sister out there that got every bit of the mother's attention. And I'd mentioned to my own mother last night about how I'm sorry that my brother and I have conflict, because we were the two that were sort of the most needy emotionally and seeking out my mother's attention, and that's what we do. We become vindictive toward one another because that's what we want, is our mother's attention and affection. It's completely demanded, like demanding of her. And I said, I felt terrible because I was standing in there while she was using the restroom one day, and I thought to myself, man, you're at this age and you still have your 30-something-year-old children following you to the bathroom. You have no peace. You have nowhere to go to hide, and nothing but your children. And I realize now why she places so much effort into us, because the men in her life have done the same thing to her as they've done to me, if not worse, obviously. So I have a lot of respect for my mother in that way, and that's why I seek out her attention, because I love her very much, and her love is oftentimes very genuine. But sometimes it's manipulative, and her lying gets to me. And why do you have to lie about the stupidest little things because you don't want to look bad? And just because I'm intimidating, because I don't do anything disrespectful to myself or the world around me a majority of the time, until I snap, and then it's not me. I just want to kill myself, because look at everyone. They're acting insane. And people are like, you can get in trouble for saying you want to kill yourself. Really? 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 Let's go down that road. So, but yeah, you can get in trouble for talking about anybody at all. Let's go down that road. That's my freedom to discuss whatever I need to, in order to disengage from you people. Okay? So, but yeah, I realized, with this child, breastfeeding it would be a sin. Breastfeeding it would be sinful. He was not created out of love. He was created out of lust. And since the father never came back to rectify anything, it made it worse for the mother. and made it worse for the situation and caused me to be in so much pain and suffering, there's nothing that I'm going to want after this pregnancy with the child at all. I realize that rejection is the only way to handle this because I was rejected. And that's sad because I never feel that way toward things. I feel like, okay, oh my God, you are rejected. Let me come, come here. But not this time. This is not the same. This is something that is coming out of my body, my vessel, and it's been tormenting me for the last 8 months so far. And there's no need to fake with this child that he was loved, when in actuality, all I've been is insulted, harassed, detained against my will. And that's not quite fair to a pregnant mother that's confused and going through hormones and homeless and mentally frail due to her disabilities, due to her lack of emotional awareness with others sometimes, because I want to be kind before I want to be, condescending or repulsed. So I understand, this happened for a reason, and it was to teach me a very, very viable and very, valuable lesson to myself. And I can hold that in my heart, knowing that I tried my best. I tried to reach out to him. I apologized for my actions in that way of not getting a plan B on my own and wasting my money, which is not my job. It was not my obligation to have to do that. It was his for having had sex with me without my consent. So it was not my job to cover my body like that, because God told me not to. God told me that it was not okay. These men have taken advantage of you too many times, and you need to stand up for yourself and let it be. So that's what I did. He told me to run when I got into the car before going back in with my belongings. I was supposed to go, but I didn't listen. I was being selfish. I was being lured under these false pretenses that it would be safe, and that was the devil. And I realized that he is just the devil, and there is nothing I can do to save him. I tried to save him many months ago. I tried, and after many months of people not realizing or changing, I can't do anything to save you. You've already defiled me. You've already disrespected me enough. There's nothing my soul can offer you anymore. You have made your bed. You need to lie in it. You have dug your hole. You've dug your pit. You must lie in it. I have offered forgiveness many times, but you don't need to seek it from me anymore. I am done seeking any type of apology, like true apology from these individuals. I realize after a certain point, you're marked, and I can't deal with you, and I can't deal with anything of you either, like anything that comes from you. So, and not the money, not the offspring that we've created, nothing. I have to completely disengage, because it's a salvation. It's a purification of my soul. And I feel very, very sorry for you, because you had so many opportunities to own up to what you had done. You had so many opportunities to be honest with yourself and God and those around you. And you refused. You didn't want to repent. You didn't want to disclose your atrocities, disclose your transgressions. And, I will pray for you. That's all I have left for you, is my prayers and my goodwill toward you, because there's no salvation for you. I just offer you my peace in that way, that genuine, just respect. Yeah, you bested me, and I bested you in the same instance, because your soul is actually what's truly valuable in this circumstance. And you decided that it wasn't. You decided that this realm was more important, and your greed and your lust and your pride and all of these different sins that you've purposefully sought and purposely acted out. And I know that there are times that I purposely acted out some of my lust and gluttony and everything. But I try to understand that on a daily basis, that I need to refrain from doing certain things. I need to offer back to the world in some way or another every day. And you didn't understand that. You took advantage of someone like me, and you took advantage of the woman that you told you loved, you know? So I'll pray for you, and I'll pray for your salvation, but honestly, it's not anything. Okay. My mother came up to notify me that she had to leave for a moment, so she probably knows I'm on video. I'm sweating profusely. Anyway, I should get off of here so that you understand that, like, I still love you people. You know, although that you are so horrible, monstrous, terrible, I love you because you need that. You need that encouragement. You need that understanding. And my child will know he was loved. He will know the efforts that I placed into him, and he will know how much love I had to offer, but I just couldn't give to him because of the circumstances to which he was created, and with which he was created. The lust, that was what damned him. So I do hope that everybody is doing well. I pray that you've had a lovely weekend and that you're having a wonderful Sunday, and, you know, blessings to everyone. I am not going to take your words and try to eat them anymore. I'm not going to take your, you know, fake love, your fake gifts or whatever material belongings or any of that stuff. I knew years ago. That's why I lived the way that I did. So meager and so humble. And that's why I didn't seek beyond my means, because I knew that it would be sinful for me. And then what happened is that I sought comfort in the bed of a man that offered me a safe place for the evening, for 4 days actually. And I was selfish. I took advantage of that. It was my fault that I allowed him to penetrate me in my sleep. It was my fault for lying next to him, knowing that he was not a good person, knowing that he would never act correctly, even if placed in the line of fire. He would denounce what he had done. So, it's okay. I don't mind suffering. I don't mind going through that, because I'm like, the more I go through, the more fucked you people are. And that's why I giggle, because I can withstand a lot of pain, a lot more than most. I endure a lot. That doesn't mean that I'm not damaged. Of course I'm damaged. Of course my smile is damaged, you know? But people don't see that. They just see the aesthetics. They see a smile. They don't see the pain and suffering behind my eyes until you really look, until you really see. And not very many people can see me. Not very many people can understand me, you know? See me. See who I am. And some people, they're just in such denial. They're like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't have anything. You don't have any, because I didn't seek it. That wasn't what I was seeking. I was seeking love. And now I just seek to be alone, to get away from this toxicity as best I can, and to refrain from acting out violently toward their violent assaults toward me. And I'm just a very passive person now. I've lived through it. I understand it. And, like, maybe I smoke too much weed and that's why I'm just so passive. But who cares? What's the purpose in fighting? You're just damaging your own soul. So that's my take on that. And I wish nothing but the best for the father of this baby. I wish nothing but the best. And I'm not the best. I told him that, you know, I'm obviously not the best choice for you. Because if I would have been, you wouldn't have ran off that morning. You wouldn't have chosen to do other things and hide me away, secrete me, and, you know, secrete me and him. You were in denial because you thought, no, there's a possibility this won't be yours. You were in denial. You said, well, there's a chance that this could be someone else's. I'm going to move on with my life without this bitch. And that's what you did. And I applaud you for it. That took courage on your behalf. That took a lot of balls, you know? So I'm glad that you are seeking something else. I'm glad that you find, love and true comfort in other people, because there's nothing left in me for you. There's no attachment left. I told that to everyone months ago, and I stand by that now. I realized when half the pregnancy was done that there was no salvation for you, because I was the one feeding and housing and clothing this child in that way. I was the one maintaining this baby. I did it all on my own. And then I'm not going to offer it to you as a sacrifice to the devil, when in actuality I should just offer it in peace to the government, God, right? So it's nothing that I want to pursue. I don't want to pursue a relationship with him, the father of the baby. I never wanted to. I wanted him to learn his lesson and understand that you can't just go around doing this to people. You can't just go around presuming that you know best, because you don't, and a lot of men don't. So, because their penises lead them, they can't help it. And a lot of people just kept wanting to shut me up. Even like the message this morning that said something about you keep leaving it on 11111. Well, that's what God told me to do. And so when I researched that just now, the meaning behind it, I realized that it is God's way of contacting you people, because it is no fabrication what I state. It's no lie. It's no manipulation. It's no fantasy. These are the honest truths. So yeah, I don't want anything to do with the Father, and I haven't for a long time now, just because I will always harbor some semblance of love for him and appreciation for having taught me such a valuable lesson. Doesn't mean that I should have to lie about the circumstance, bow down to him, offer myself to him freely anymore, or give in at any point. We can love each other from afar, and I know you don't love me, so it's like I can love you from afar, and that's how it works, because you had no respect for me. You defiled me from the moment you placed hands on me, and there is nothing I can respect about a man that does those things. That's why I refused to want to have your children when we first got involved and started chatting. But you took that forcefully, didn't you? You destroyed my life out of selfishness, out of lust, out of whatever ill-mannered, whatever unbalanced situation was going on in your own head. You didn't know I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for a man so inevitably I could have his children and he would love me and appreciate that I went through that birthing process. And my body and the way that it's heart, it's carrying the future within it, which is crazy, because I'm like, okay, people have been wanting me to give birth sooner than he's ready, and all these contractions and all of this stress, all the demands, and I'm at peace with that. I've been at peace with him being gone for a while, because I had to file for rape in the first place, because you just didn't want to do right by the situation. You didn't want to admit. So And that made me feel terrible, because I never want to call someone out for what they truly are. Demonic, primitive, what is that, sort of, just a cretin. You're a cad. You have no respect for yourself. You have no respect for the government or the world around you, because what you did was an atrocity. What you did was a violation against God's will, a violation of what was going on in the world around us. You say God's will it's okay. We can lust after all these women. That's not God. That's the devil, mind you. So, whatever you had done to me, I hope you understand. I will never respect you in that way. I will never respect you for our personal interactions. I'll respect you for having served. I'll respect you for having gone through those things as being the father of this child, but never will I truly offer you what you want, which is a false admission to my innocence in that way, like a false admission to my guilt, I mean. So, yeah. I hope everybody's having a blessed day. Today is July 17th, 2022. Like I told someone on that one chat, like, if you were to come back and you were to have the possibility of a family, there is none. There is none. There's no way I would even harbor that stupid thought in my mind, because he chose someone else. He chose someone else while I was struggling through poverty, homelessness, disability. He chose that. He chose all of that over trying to help sustain the child growing inside of me. He chose someone else and choosing to have a life with her. He chose wanting to be with someone else over taking care of the matter, over realizing how much he had degraded me, how much he violated me, how much he disrespected me and my body and my corpse, and this child as well. Everything about his child. I told him, I said, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? Like, are you sure? Gave him plenty of ample opportunity to contact me back. He didn't even want to talk about it. He was so ashamed. I was a secret. Until now. The exposure. The drama. The truthfulness. The facts. The fact that I have plenty of witnesses and character witnesses that would back me. The fact that you're going to go to prison if it gets to that extreme. Because in no way am I going to be found guilty of these charges. And I'll make sure of that. God will make sure of that. Because I'm not trying to tamper with anybody's mind. I'm not trying to upset anyone or use reverse psychology whatsoever. So, I'm very grateful to you, to the father of the child, to, the officials, for allowing me to speak my piece, allowing me to expose my side and share with you what's truly going on, because this is not fair. Any woman would understand, I thought I was special. I thought you cared about me. You told me you cared about me. You told me you just wanted me to be safe. That was a lie. A blatant lie. Just so that you could get what you wanted. Just so that you could distort me. I can't wait to pass over to the next realm. I'm so excited for that. I'm apprehensive at the same time, but I'd rather be there than here. And the fact that this man took advantage of me, and now all of this, and there's nothing. I have nothing. I have no home. I can't nest. I can't organize. I can't take or prepare for this child. I gave him up a while ago because I knew that there was no chance that I could sustain him on my own. There was no chance that I could sustain the amount of love that he deserves, that every child deserves, from both the mother and the father. for him to be healthy psychologically and physically for the remainder of his days. So I realized that it would be selfish of me to keep him. It would be selfish of me to even think that, knowing how impoverished I am, knowing that my family doesn't have placement for us. I didn't want to be a burden. I never wanted to be a burden. I was always apologetic to everyone and told them, I don't want to take up your time or space, because majority of the time I upset people with my facts, with my truth, with my constant yapping about how things should be in the world, how transitioning to certain things and aspects of life. Nobody wants to hear it, I realized. Jason didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it. I don't know who Jason is. I'm just saying, Jason in general. Jason's. Can't state his name, right? Can't state the father's name, because that would be threatening. Threatening what? It's the truth. There's no slander going on here. There's nothing. There's no slander. Just innocent babble from the woman that he raped, that he took advantage of. Innocent self-talk, trying to help myself through this. Innocent discussions with God and the world around me and the people that harass me. There is no one named that. And, yes, before I hand this child off, I will give him the name that he deserves, which is going to be after his father, because I will not. I refuse to offer my compassion and my essence, my breast milk, my breast, to a child that is undeserving. The father made sure he was undeserving. He's going to marry someone else, or he was trying to marry someone else, or whatever's going on with all that. And then all of a sudden, there's a child that he was hiding because he thought he wouldn't get in trouble, because the DNA wouldn't be there. Oh, it's there. Oh, you're fucked. Oh, you realize that. That's sad. Sad that it came to this extreme for you to realize and own up to what you had done, and you're still not owning up to it, because I see no apology. I see nothing from you, aside from shame. Shame and your absence. Your absence to want to care for your own offspring. How you should be locked away instead of me. How, at the very least, I took very good care of this child, making sure I had the adequate vitamins, making sure I went to my prenatal visits, making sure that I had all the things maintained as best I could, even though I had nothing for him. I just prayed. I always gave it to God. I always told God, can I please have a family that loves me one day? Can I please have love? My prayers go unanswered and unheard because I am undeserving of that. And I am okay with that. I understand it. My love can be found in everything around me. The sweat dripping off my body, I love that. I love the sensation of life sometimes, because of all the times that I've passed over and had to be forcibly injected back into my body. It's interesting how life works. It's interesting how I have to divulge these things to every individual so that they can comprehend where I'm coming from, because they think that I'm like I'm incompetent, which is hilarious. Are you okay? Do you realize what you're saying? Do you understand the words that are coming out of your mouth? Because apparently you don't. And for anybody trying to alter my descriptions of things, or even if I do a misspelling now and again, don't harass me. You insult yourself only, knowing that I am a trauma victim, like a victim of this trauma, and I'm trying to convey my emotions as rapidly and honestly as possible before they incarcerate me for my truths. Incarcerate me over my innocence. and their denial to want to offer up the right perpetrators. So yeah, do I care? No one cared about me. Why should I care about the revolving cycle of everyone else getting their karma? I don't. So, blessings to you, father of this child. Blessings and good tidings, and I wish you well. I hope you find the right girl for you. The one that will listen to your lies and manipulation. The one that will, fake a reality with you, knowing that you're vile, knowing that you are dishonest and have no integrity. Should be dishonored in that way. But whatever, it's none of my business. It's just the story, it's just the plot line. It's just getting good now. I love everybody very much, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week. And regardless of what happens, I will not go to fucking jail. I will drink fucking shit from my mother's sink. I will not go with you. I will not comply. But these are my last words, and everyone knows. And if something were to happen to me, then you understand it is due to everyone else and their ill-mannered gestures and violence toward me. So, it has nothing to do with me anymore. It has everything to do with God and the protective measures that I'm going to have to take in order to self-sustain or to stay away from your fucking toxic jails, to stay away from your toxicity of having to socialize in an inadequate space for me, because that's not suitable for someone like me. And neither is a psychiatric hospital, because there's nothing wrong with me. There's everything wrong with the world around me. So quit trying to tamper with the reality of things. Just own up to what you've done. Offer back some semblance of compassion. But I'm not telling you to do these things, mind you. These are just the messages I convey. So if you don't want to offer like repentance or, to sustain some semblance of, it's none of my business. It's your soul, not mine. So everyone have a blessed week. I love you very, very much. Say what you will. You're all toxic just as much as I am. So, if not more so, for believing lies and perpetrating these acts, and also conveying, misguiding people with misinformation, with misleading, untruthful disclosures of your own insanity and your own creation. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I'm just getting warm in here though. I need to get out of here. I love you very much, and I'm gonna just go about my day. I'm gonna go make myself some pancakes right now because that's all I can do. Just try to make myself as comfortable as possible until you rein me in for the final time, because I am not going down without a fucking fight again. I'm not. I will literally try to kill my fucking self if you try to come and fucking touch me or tamper with my reality or disclose that I'm fucking not innocent. I'm not guilty of anything. I'm guilty of exposing you and your fraudulent behavior. That's what I'm guilty of. That's what you hate, because it's truly you're the one that's the guilty party. Interesting. You guys are so silly. You're so funny. I love you so much. Like, I really do. I can't help but laugh at you. You're so hilarious. I had no idea I'd have to go through something like this. What is the term that I'm thinking of? It's vile and hilarious. It's just so genuinely inconceivable. Just like that. It's like, what in the fuck are you people doing? You really want to tamper with my reality, knowing that I can't get in trouble? I had even disclosed in a prior video that I wasn't trying to incriminate anyone. So the fact that I had that listed on a video from many months prior, and I stated with all of my videos on that one disclaimer, and I haven't tampered with it whatsoever, and we all know that, and there's proof of that too. Yeah, I disclosed that I wasn't trying to incriminate anyone. So the fact that you are utilizing these videos against me in the court of law proves your ignorance and proves your lack of dignity, your lack of integrity, your hypocrisies in that way, because you want to salvage the ones that have served for you, not the ones that don't do anything for you, i.e. myself. Okay? So, yeah, I hope everybody has a blessed week. I'm sweating balls over here, literally. And I pray to God that you don't fuck with me anymore. But we all know that's not your game. You enjoy it. It makes you feel good because you're psychopaths and sociopaths, and that's what you get off on. Right? Right? Trying to hurt somebody like me because I got all my teeth? Because I got all my teeth? Yuck. So anyway, everyone have a good day. And honestly, I try not to go to an extreme of over an hour of yip-yapping, because nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. They don't give a flying fuck about the truth. They don't give a flying fuck about God and their words of hypocrisy. They don't give a flying fuck about, they just say, this is what it says on paper. This is what it says on this paper right here. That's what it says, and that's what the law states, and that's how ignorant we are. Because the South rules, and we don't understand anything about psychology. We don't know nothing about science, and that's how we rule things, because it says so on paper. It says so in the legal system, that this is how we're supposed to interact with individuals like this, because we don't know no better. So that's why we tamper with people's souls, we tamper with people's bodies, we steal and we rob from the innocent, and then we stick them in jail. Because we don't know no better. Because that we believe that medicinal marijuana has been an issue, even though, hold on, you lost 150 pounds by smoking marijuana. You refrain from hurting yourself by smoking marijuana. Oh, you're a criminal bitch. You're a dumbass criminal bitch, because you don't understand the laws of this earth. You don't understand the laws of this plane. You're a dumbass bitch. That's what I hear on my messages a lot of times too. These people that sound exactly like that. You're a dumbass bitch. You don't know no better. You don't know no better, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm the one that reprimands you. You're gonna listen to me. Am I? Am I really? That's why I laugh at you fools. Because that's how you fucking sound. This is what the paper states. This is what the paper says. Document says you ain't no parent to no child. Document says that you criminal record because we didn't file anything properly and we didn't actually put the rightful criminals in jail. But then, you know what? You're the one that's a criminal. Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you. I've been up and down this road right here where I've never been cultured. I don't know anything about the world around me. I don't know anything about empathy. What is that you're talking about? What's all that science talk? What's all that psychology, that therapy talk you talking about? I don't know anything about that. I wouldn't know nothing know how about that, because I think that it's okay to scream and yell and hit my own kids. But I got a badge that says I can get away with everything. It says I can manipulate, rape women. I can touch them all I want. I can fondle them all I want. And it says right here on my suspenders where I got these credible badges. Look at me. I'm so sensible. I'm so respectable. Look at me and my crazy children doing all kinds of crazy where I hide it from the world too. But they can't hide it from the feds. I got that. I understood that. But I ain't doing no wrong, because look at me. I got a badge. I got a badge. Look at me. And that's how it's been. That's how it's been for generations. And that's how it's going to be. Because women are beneath man. Women are beneath men, so are the blacks, so are the Mexicans, so are anybody of any kind of race other than white, because that's how we run things in the state of Arkansas. We don't know how to evolve. We don't know how to expand. We don't know how to alter some of these rules and regulations to actually save disabled citizens. You ain't no disabled citizen. You know how to read and write. That's how we gauge with that. You know how to read and write. That doesn't make you disabled no how, nowhere. You know how to talk to people. We force you into talking to people, don't we, Leticia? We poke in you, we prod you, don't we, Leticia? That's not your name, but I'm going to say it like that anyway. We're going to disrespect you in any form we possibly can, because your life doesn't mean more than our lives and our children's lives. And that's the American way. So, yeah, that's what I've seen. That's what I've heard. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not bound down to none of that. That doesn't sound like the righteous God that I follow. The righteous God that I follow loves and cares for everything and all the beings around us. Yet, all of a sudden, I'm the criminal because all this paperwork, this falsified documents of the officers that didn't want to put any effort into investigating things properly. Instead, they just realize, they say, oh, well, that's what the paper states, and we don't care about the individual at all. It says on here on this paper, and you know what? I've got my own papers, and they're adding up. They're adding up all these criminal charges toward how we interact with all these other people. Did you not know that? Did you not know how they've kept track of everything we do, even where we're shitting now? How we're shitting, the types of shit we're eating, the types of toxic shit we're putting in our bodies? And you think that they're not going to come after you for being mentally ill after they realize you're tampering with the system? And ain't nothing about keeping the innocent innocent and the guilty guilty. It's about you making the innocent look guilty. Because they don't pay enough in taxes for you to care. They don't pay enough. The innocent don't pay enough in taxes for you to give a shit. So that's how it went down. That's how it goes. That's how it is in the system. So, and I understand that. Boy, it's scorching right now. It's real hot. I'm dripping sweat. And guess what? All I want to do is talk to y'all. All I want to do is talk to y'all in your language, in your lingo, so you can understand me. So I can dull it down so you can understand me. I can talk all I want. And you'll understand when I say it like this. Hey, guess what? I didn't do it. Hey, guess what? I'm innocent. I did not falsify a rape report. Maybe if I say it like that, you'll understand it. I didn't falsify nothing, no how. I barely know how to read and write. I barely went through high school. But guess what? I got a badge. Guess what? I own you. I can touch you if I want to. I've got a doctorate that says I can violate your body and your vagina. And I won't get fired. 'Cause this is the South. And men rule the South. What are you talking about, you filthy whore? Yeah. No, I get it. I understand. I understand you don't want to realize that you're a filthy whore. I understand that you don't want to realize that you're the pervert instead of me. That you allowed these violations to happen to me and my body and my constitutional rights. Do you see that? Do you hear it? Do you hear the echo of your soul going down on the fucking deepest, darkest portions of hell? Hello? God? He ain't gonna listen, 'cause he gonna see you didn't care about nobody. You didn't care about nothing. You didn't care about none of anybody else but your own goddamn children. You didn't care about nothing, not your job, not your work, not what you're getting paid to do, which is properly investigate these situations, because when you're called by the police, they're supposed to help innocent victims. But since I was disabled and I was calling too much, I told them I don't feel good. I don't feel right. We're going to shove you in the psych ward then, honey. We know you ain't feeling good. You want some medicine? You want some of that so you can be addicted to some of these pharmaceuticals that are actually things as hard as some of these narcotics, like these opioids and whatnot, like these Xanax bars. You want that? Oh, you tried to OD twice? Well, let's give you another prescription then, honey. We'll give you another prescription. Oh, also, while you're in the psych ward, make sure that you get violated. Make sure you open up your legs real wide so those orderlies can take a good gander at you. Because they're men. You have to understand, men still rule. In this day and age, 2022, do you know who's ruling this fucking earth? Do you know who's president right now? Do you know you cannot have an abortion? Did you realize you and your rights and your right to your body are invalid to us because the paperwork? The paper states it right here. This paper right here. Doesn't matter what God said. It matters what the United States President's God says. Because he's got a different God than us. I mean, there's all that. And I know he's just a pawn. Just like each one of us, we're just a pawn to be placed in front of the limelight and all that. I get it. I'm not stupid. Hold on, I'm not ignorant. I'm not dumb. That's everybody else. Everybody else that doesn't have a southern accent. Because we got to stick together, y'all. We got to stick together, y'all. Get her with our white supremacy. Let's get her. She half Mexican. Oh, this bitch, she going down. July 17th, 2022. Leticia calling Servin. I hope everyone has a blessed week. Enjoy it while it lasts. Bye-bye.